Hey, what's up guys? TCG Reload here with another deck profile. This is coming from Janky Yugioh for Ryzeal. Let's check it out.
So I'm running 3-sword Ryzeal because he searches the thunder or the pyros. I get them mixed up, but you're running 3 of them. If you're normal summoning them, you're really sad. And that's usually a good spot to stop the deck if they're normally in it. And then you're gonna 3 of the X'd Ryzeal just because he sends 1 from the extra deck and then summons himself. And usually you're gonna send the aggregator with it so that you can target something. So you go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Rare situations you actually Chainlink 2 this effect to protect the negation. I've had to do it before and blew the opponent's mind. 3 ice because he starts all of your plays. I mean, you get ice and you just summon one of these idiots from the deck and you just start the whole plays.
How it goes, huh?
Yep. If you can stop ice, you should stop ice in this deck. 1 of the node, just because the monster reborn, and usually you have enough cards, at least in my version, to where you can discard and special summon back. A lot of times you're going to finish your combo out and you're going to have detonator, and then the duo drive, and if you have a node and you've resolved the duo drive, you can usually go into another exceed. Right now, I would say it's fair if you know what your opponent is playing to just make a Abyss Dweller, because it does really good against a lot of decks. And if they're playing Malice, you just hope you have enough hand traps. And that's just basically the main, monster core of this deck. And then we're gonna talk about my hand traps. 1 nib because we're playing the crossouts. I've drawn it and resolved them. 2 Ghost Ogres, it goes really good in the mirror match, and there's quite a few cards right now that if you just ogre it, it stops them. It's justifiable now. 3 Droll and Lockbird, really good in the mirror match. I think the only deck it's really awful against right now is Malice. But even then, in some variants of it, if you just droll them at the right time, they just can't do much. It might be enough. 3 Effect Failure, just because it feels like there's so many cards that don't have that protection right now, and just Effect Failure is so good that you can just keep using it. Running 3 Ash Blossoms, just because you just negate whatever, and I don't have the traps to be able to impulse this or whatever. We'll get into my spells now. I'm gonna say I'm playing 3 Pod Desires. Just because after you've done all of your combos and your deck is really thin, banish 10, draw 2 more hand traps or whatever else. Or sometimes you just brick and you just banish 10, draw 2, and hope you start your plays. 3 Bonfire, this thing deserves to be at 1. If this card was at 1, I'd probably run way less hand traps, but because it exists at 3, I know that I'm reasonably running 6 copies of Ryzeal Ice. Like, I know that at any given point, statistically speaking, I'm gonna see Ryzeal Ice. 3 Crossout Designator, because you run so many hand traps that if your opponent has specific ones that they're running, you can usually resolve this. It's good against Droll, which is seeing a lot of play right now, and Ashes. I've hit it off of Imperm too, or even on my opponent's turn, I've crossed out their crossout just to make sure that my hand trap resolves. 1 of the plugin, I really like the plugin card. It's pretty good. Just a monster reborn. Quick play, and then it puts a material underneath them. 1 Ryzeal Cross. If any changes I'd make, I would probably turn this Pot of Prosperity into another cross. Just because every time I've ever played it, at least in the pure version, which I'm playing, it always feels like it's such a decision to what I'm banishing from my extra deck. I just don't want to. 1 Called by the Grave. It's good if you draw it. It's good if your opponent draws it and you have Crossout Designator. 1 of the Talents. I'm only playing it at 1 because if I draw it, good. It's usually dead. If I don't draw it, it makes a really good Crossout follow-up, because on your opponent's turn, when you use Detonator to detach and pop something, if they go Talents and you flip a Crossout and go, no, I'm gonna banish my own and stop that. 1 less thing you have to deal with. 1 of the Ryzeal Plasma Hole. If you draw it, it's great. If you already drew the field spell or the plugin, you can just add it to your hand. and it just pops, and then it can banish it from the grave to use Ryzeals to exceed summon. So there are hands where you can have a plug-in in this, and you end up just with 2 4s on the field and make whatever rank 4 you need for the situation. And then 3 infinite impermanence, because honestly, I think this card just, as the game progresses, has gotten so much stronger. And that's basically my main deck. It'll probably get changed as I get more comfortable playing the deck. This is my extra deck. I need to get my other detonator. This is totally on me. I thought I ordered it, but apparently not. So I'm playing with 1. Have not ran into a single game where not having less than 1 has been awful. I'm playing 2 the aggregators because sometimes you deal with their board, or they'll banish this copy of it that you've sent to the grave with a bestial or something, and you just have the follow-up copy to help break their boards and get through them. I'm playing 2 duo drives. It's nice to have the extra copy because you know that this is probably never going to resolve, but later in the game, if you can make it and resolve it, it's fine. I'm playing the Utopic Ray Lancer for OTK reasons. You just slap it over one of yours, and there's even tricks with the Ryzeal trap hole where you just banish it and make this while you're in the battle phase still and just keep going.
Wow.
Beast Dweller card is OCG Bandit, I believe.
I think so.
Pretty
going hard in the
reasonable.
deck, huh?
It's when this card is good, it's too good. It's one of those ones. I play Castell, clears the way of face-up cards because it's just great like that. Don't mind the rarities. It's the only copies I could find of it in my binder. I play a Typhoon. It's good in the mirror sometimes. And then sometimes, like, I know the meme is, you know, you make it and then you just lose. You know how to play the card and you're in the right situation, it's fine. We're playing Zeus because there's a real cheeky play that you can do where on your opponent's turn they attack into one of your Ryzeal exceeds, and you, or even one of your exceeds, and you protect it with the detonator, and you just detach the trap hole. You can banish it and just make a Zeus on their turn and clear their board.
Wow.
Or if they just leave a duo drive alone and it still has 2 materials on it on your turn, you don't have to activate. I mean, you could just attack and throw a Zeus over it if you want. You just throw them whatever problems you need. The IRL version, which is this deck I'm running, I'm playing the Gaga Cowboy. There's a weird OTK you can do where you do 800 and then you turn him into the Utopic Lancer and then go for game. I've done it once. If you ran 3 of these and we had some of the future cards out, you could do 4,000 damage instead of hand rip your opponent with just cowboys. It's kind of funny.
Wow.
1 Tornado Dragon, some people it's like really, they see it and they go, what? And they go, oh no, just detach, pop back row.
Kind of old school.
It is, like it's, if anything, I probably will turn this into Excitone Night, which I have a copy of it that I just grabbed today. Baguska. Sometimes you just make Baguska and pass when you get drolled and hope to God that your hand traps just survive you long enough to survive. I've won games where it's just Baguska pass and the opponent just keeps playing and nope, I lose. And then we play the Donner for hire because we play Nib, and if we get nibbed, we need to get the main monster zone cleared so that our X can resolve its effect. So Nib token plus any normal summonable monster, usually ice, which you're not locked in yet. You just make Donner, pop it, and pop whatever's in your way, and then start your Ryzeal combos.
Wow.
And sideboard don't exist right now because I'm lazy. So that's the deck profile.
Very good. All right. Thanks. Another shout out to Janky Yugioh. Give him a subscribe and a like and stuff on his channel. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe here and give us a like. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.